Ryan Reynolds has joined the Fast and Furious franchise. That is the headline on this week's NBA Movie News. And joining us as ever is John. This comes in from we've got this covered.com, John.
Yes, it's
in regards to Ryan Reynolds could potentially be joining the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yes, Stephen, as I did say, this is their fault. Blowing a little bit of hair off of that iPad there. They are essentially saying one of their sources, their trusted sources, has said that the one and only Ryan Reynolds will be joining Hobbs and Shaw, first and foremost.
Yeah.
That great standalone, well, it looks to be great.
Yeah.
We don't actually know yet because neither of us have seen it.
No.
But it really does look to be promising, obviously starring Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham. Idris Elba. He looks to be joining this as a CIA agent, Stephen, and he is going to be sort of implicated. He knows Hobbs, obviously Dwayne Johnson's character, I believe. He recruits his character to help him stop Elvis, Idris Elbas, not Elvis, Elvis super villain.
Yeah.
So what do you make of this, Stephen? Is this something you're happy with? I know, before I pass it over to you again, that you're not a fan of the Fast and Furious. You've not watched any of them.
No.
I have seen 3, I think I've seen up to 4. I've seen the great ending for, I think it was Paul Walker.
Yeah.
And then I've not seen another one since then. So
yeah, John, I think if Hobbs and Shaw had never come out or was never thought about it, then I probably would have believed this. Now I've seen I think I've seen all the trailers for this one actually. We certainly have reacted to a few.
yeah.
I like the look of this. I like the sort of dynamics between the two lead characters. Reminds me a lot of Tango and Cash, that kind of chemistry, kind of comedy within the sort of situation, forced together kind of thing. But we're talking about obviously Ryan Reynolds. I think this is made for him.
Yeah.
I think he's got the right acting chops for that kind of tone. I think he would have performed well in the way the Fast and Furious, the franchise as it was before this film. But I think even more so now, it's more believable. I think that he would be connected to this. I know that there's another man connected to this as well, John.
There's rumours aplenty, yes.
Yeah, he's denying it at the moment, but
Keanu Reeves, is going to be coming in and somehow being connected to, I believe, Idris Elba's Black Superman, I think he's calling himself in the movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
He is, I think they're saying he's playing like sort of a puppet master role where he's orchestrating things in the shadows. He's a bona fide action star, Stephen. They do say in a separate article from Screen Rant, and that he is reportedly has a role in Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. They're saying that he would also be joining Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and whatnot, and that yes, he would be essentially playing a puppet master hiding behind the shadows of Hobbs and Shaw. I seen an interview with him, I think it was with someone from Vanity Fair or Variety, I think it was.
Right, okay.
And the guy flat out asked him, "Are you starring in Hobbs and Shaw?" And he said, "No, I'm not. I've not heard about it or said something like that." It was all very sort of a Matt Smith about the the episode 8 of Star Wars, which incidentally has now been removed from the cast listing, so that's maybe not a good comparison. We want to see Keanu in this movie, but he was saying it jokingly, Stephen.
Yeah.
He's saying it, I don't know where that's came from and whatnot, so the door's still slightly ajar.
Yeah.
So I would love to see, first of all, Ryan Reynolds in there, because as you did say, a fantastic fit for this movie. From what we've seen from the trailers, the tone, these two comedy duos, like mismatched buddy sort of a guys, Hobbs and Shaw, and this Overlord that would be almost like Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry Callahan back in the day.
The only concern I've got, John, is that they are shifting the tone of these movies. They seem to be going more for this sort of action comedy with Hobbs and Shaw, which is a far cry from those first movies, those early movies. Throwing Ryan Reynolds in there as well, I don't know if it might be too much.
Oh, I don't
going
think so.
in the one direction, but I think depends on his presence. How much he's going to be in this film.
We had Vin Diesel, Paul Walker.
Yeah.
The other guy, something I can't remember what his name is. Can't mind. He's not important.
No, certainly not.
Tyrese, I think his name is something. Yeah, he's a great actor. He's been in it from the very beginning. He was like friends with Paul Walker's character. Yeah. And we had obviously the introduction of Dwayne Johnson into the setup. So 4 5 really big name sort of action stars.
That's why I'm saying, John.
So we're used to seeing this.
I think
in this
Ryan
franchise.
Reynolds, if this is true,
it
could be that maybe they're setting him up for future films. You know, I don't think he's going to have a large presence.
Tyrese
there
Gibson.
Well done.
Oh.
In regards to Keanu Reeves, I understand why he is saying what he's saying on this talk show, whatever it was. If he is playing some sort of mysterious character that can't be revealed within the trailers or
That'd be
the
incredible.
sort of early rumblings of a film, then I can understand why he's been cagey about it. I would love to see it as well.
Would it not be incredible to see Keanu Reeves playing a villain for a change instead of a lovable sort of a protagonist figure playing an antagonist masquerading in the shadows, pulling all the strings? What a cast that would be, Stephen. Just as I did say, those two front and centre, obviously Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, doing what they do.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds playing, as I did say, sort of like that chief Harry Callahan figure, just barking out orders, maybe with a tinge of humour in there, ordering them around. And then in the background you've got Idris Elba front and centre as antagonist, then in the background Keanu Reeves. That'd be a remarkable cast, and it would open up whole sort of a shouts from perhaps fans of the franchise of, do we have to get back to the traditional Fast and Furious? Can we not just stick with Hobbs and Shaw going forward?
Or might branch off in different
and then
ways
that
as well.
hot co-star of Dwayne Johnson's in Fast and Furious, who was moaning and saying he was giving up his role because Dwayne decided to, the studio decided to give Dwayne his own spin-off movie. He'll be absolutely, he'll be in the gutter. He'll be in the gutter. I can't recall what that guy's name is, and I don't care.
No,
it's not important.
Have you got any more to say on that?
I've not got much more though. I'm very excited for it. I'm glad to see that perhaps Ryan Reynolds is in there. I'm glad to see. It could all be nonsense. It's we got it covered. Who are to blame for that? Incidentally, not us.
Or commended. But listen, we'll move on to the next. We'll move on to the next article, John. This comes in from slashfilm.com, and James Cameron says, so we'll not hold /film accountable. We'll hold James Cameron because he says Terminator: Dark Fate will continue John Connor's story. Now, I've read the article, John, and basically it doesn't really tell you much in regards to John Connor and his presence, what it's going to be in this movie. But we suspected that. We know that they've got a young fella who is cast as a young John Connor. The problem with this is that the trailer doesn't really give you much. It's a teaser trailer, and it's mostly focused on Linda Hamilton's character, which it should be. People want Edward Furlong back playing John Connor. I don't know what his state is at the moment.
He looks okay. I've seen a photo of him. I
don't know if this may be something they're keeping under wraps. I would love that. I thought Edward Furlong is John Connor. We've seen, and I'm talking about Christian Bale as well. I still regard Edward Furlong as, the one that I want to see. I think
that's the most recent photo, Stephen, of him.
Yeah, looks okay. Yeah, it looks like
not as chubby as he used to be.
No. So, James Cameron's not really saying too much on it. The headline is a bit misleading. That his story is still going to play a big part. Of course it is, but how big, we don't know.
Yeah, he's saying, I think tonally what makes this a direct sequel to T1 and T2 is as much about the tone as it is about the narrative. It's R-rated, it's grim, it's gritty, it's fast, it's intense, it's very linear. The whole story takes place in 36 hours, which is pretty good actually.
Yeah.
It's not this kind of grandiose, complex story. It's just very, very focused on the characters. It's very now, it's very present, and it's just a fast white knuckle ride. I don't know where John Connor comes into that, Stephen, but they're saying that presumably it's going to continue on his story in some manner. Now this intrigues me for a couple of reasons. Could we, now when you say, Stephen, when we reacted to the trailer, you informed me that it's a younger chap playing John Connor. Could it be that he is maybe have been taken away by Skynet and they're doing nefarious things, and this could be a rescue mission of sorts, and then we never really see him, but then at the end it kind of sets up a cliffhanger for a future Terminator movie. Then when we get Edward Furlong back, perhaps in better shape, doing his Mark Hamill for the Force Awakens, he could play a bigger role.
Certainly,
maybe it could be similar to the search for Luke Skywalker.
I can't remember that crossed my mind.
They're using flashbacks for the young chip.
I can't remember the young actor's name. It's been cast as the young John Connor, but if James Cameron's saying this is a direct sequel to Terminator 2, then
it doesn't make sense.
That would have to be flashbacks if it's a young John Connor. The other thing and another theory that I have picked up on is that the young lady that this sort of female protector is guarding in the trailer is the mother of Kyle Reese. So there's another spin there as well, which is quite interesting.
Kyle Reese was the guy that came back.
He was John Connor's father.
Oh yeah,
so
yes, he was. Christ.
Again, you know, it looks like they're going a generation back, the Terminators, to maybe try and...
Yeah, because Kyle Reese came back, didn't he, to protect Sarah Connor and the young John Connor, and then ended... No, she actually... he went with Sarah Connor and they gave birth to John Connor. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all very convoluted. So that'd be intriguing. I don't know how that would work though, in terms of furthering the narrative of John Connor in this story without actually having them in the film. But as I did say, perhaps they're utilising flashbacks with this younger chap. I'm trying to find his name. It's Jude Colley, apparently.
Right, okay.
Is the chap's name. Bizarrely, they have a photo of
Linda
Hamilton
I was going to say...
on the set of Dark Fate.
I was going to say, he does look like his mother.
There he is there, Stephen. He looks very much like Edward Furlong.
Yeah, I think
Edward
I
Furlong.
think that's what they're going for, possibly to connect with Terminator 2.
Yeah.
It certainly does. He's got that same hairstyle.
Yeah, floppy hairstyle.
It's got the same kind of face as well, you know, that kind of goth-looking face.
So that perhaps suggests that we're seeing flashbacks and there could be some sort of a search for John Connor. I don't know.
No.
That's what I'm hoping for.
As I said, you know, we did the reaction, John,
blasphemy.
last week, and although it was slightly disappointing, it was more from a technical aspect for myself. I don't really take too much from teaser trailers because they don't really tell you much anyway. A lot of people have reacted, I think, over the top.
Yeah, technical aspects and just this.
Yeah, but they'll tidy that up. We saw it, well, they're going to be doing it with Sonic, but certainly they'll have to do it with Sonic now. But we've seen it in other films where they went back and tinkered with the effects because they're very early stages, but they want to put something out.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I'm going to see the film anyway, and I'll give my thoughts on it once I've seen the film.
Yeah, and hopefully John Connor fits in some organic manner. We get to see it being a continuation of his story, because he was always Terminator for me.
Yeah.
Him and Sarah Connor, and also Arnie. So without him, it's a bit crap.
Exactly, John. But we'll move on now to this headline that came in from Empire Online. It's Marc Webb in talks to direct Disney's live-action Snow White movie. Now, I know you caught a screenshot with Rachel Weisz, I think it was, saying Snow White, and you were wondering if it was real or not. I says, well, I'm not a director, and then who's directing her just now? But,
I think that's someone's fantasy of what they want this movie to look like.
was the man who did the Amazing Spider-Man films, I think.
Yeah, you may be right there, Stephen.
Listen, funnily enough, John, seeing all the talk with obviously Dumbo coming out earlier this year, or a couple of months ago now, Aladdin just out, and we're getting The Lion King. It kind of made me think about this film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's probably one of their oldest films, if not the oldest one, from 1938.
Yeah.
Why they've not done this yet, I don't know if it's PC related. I don't know.
That's it, Stephen.
Yeah. But the story itself is an interesting story, and it's something that, apart from that, I don't know why they've not done it now.
Yeah.
Because I think it's an interesting story. I think it's another one that Disney certainly can. Are you okay, John?
Yes.
Yeah, you're just looking at something.
Yeah, I'm just searching up something, Steve.
Yeah, but listen, I just think that it's something that Disney should have done maybe a few years ago, because I think this is one of the ones the fans would have wanted to see, and I hope they do. You know, especially if you've got Marc Webb on board. He's a terrific director. I'm going to take that off you in a minute if you're looking at funny photos. But listen, I like the sound of this, and if they can get Marc Webb on board, then I'm on board.
Yeah, Stephen, Marc Webb, obviously, as you did say, involved in the two amazing Spider-Man movies. I think he was involved in The Only Living Boy in New York. I seem to recall hearing about that somewhere.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, the song. Yes, so they've obviously utilised that song and adapted that to a movie. It'd be an absolute coup for them to get that guy on, Stephen, on board and directing. Again, Disney, we know that they have multiple movies going forward that they're going to remaster and rejuvenate for a new audience and demographic. We've seen Dumbo this year, Aladdin, The Lion King. I think we're getting The Lady and the Tramp later in the year for Disney Plus. This could be another one which goes straight to Disney Plus. Who knows? But yeah, as you did say, it's a classic. It's 1938. It's an absolute original, one of the oldest Disney animated movies. So it's a real shame it hasn't been done up for a modern generation. But Stephen, what I was laughing at was actually, because I don't want to put my foot in it, I was searching up what do you actually call a person who is of smaller stature. It's, you can call them a dwarf apparently, still, but it's not. It's frowned upon. But a small little person of short stature, I think was the one that I was thinking of. So yeah, I think, Stephen, the main reason why, and getting off on a tangent there, that this movie perhaps hasn't been made is just because Disney don't really want that minefield of been having to go around PC, and
I get that.
we know how obviously precious some people are in society these days. They like to get butt hurt over every little thing, so perhaps biding their time, finding a way, putting out the feelers to see if people will get all butt hurt on social media and try and boycott Disney and whatnot, and then if they don't get that, they're seeing positive reaction, then perhaps they'll go forward. But look, Disney are Disney, they'll do it anyway. People grew up with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They don't care. They don't care.
It exists under the Disney banner.
And at the end of the day, Stephen, they're not making fun of the people of shorter stature. They're happy-go-lucky sort of a guys that help the heroic female character in her story, her quest, and whatnot.
Rachel Weisz in that picture though, John, she does look the part, to be fair.
She does, she does. I don't think it's real, sadly. If we were to cast someone in the role of Snow White, would you want to see Rachel Weisz? She's getting on a little bit in years now. Do you think that's something she'd want to do? Or could we get maybe like a Florence Pugh or something?
That's a good shout, yeah. I think someone that's probably at Florence Pugh's stage in her career, it would be a good thing for her, you know.
Saoirse Ronan?
Perhaps
not.
Yeah, she's a little bit more well known in the US certainly than Florence Pugh, but I think Florence Pugh is making a name for herself at the moment. So
yeah, they're saying that writing the script, La La Land and The Greatest Showman's Benji Pasek and Justin Paul will be crafting tunes. So that's another great addition. They are fantastic at creating unique little songs and whatnot, and that'll add exponentially. It's actually Erin Cressida Wilson who wrote The Girl on the Train. You actually watched that and reviewed it, Stephen.
Yeah.
She or he is...
Kevin reviewed it. I did watch it. Yeah,
Kevin. They're tapping them to come on and write the script, so it's all looking good. They're getting the right people on board, the right script, the person to pen the script, the right people to do the music, the right director. And Disney have just been gold at creating and remastering these classic films. I'm sure they'll get it right, one way or the other.
Fingers
Even if
crossed.
they have to name it the Snow White and the Seven People of Short Stature.
There's no word on a Pinocchio film yet, is there? Nothing like that?
No, not yet.
I'd be quite interested in that as well,
yeah.
But listen, we'll move on to our final article, John. This came in from Gossip. Gossipcock.com. Yeah, listen. Once you read this, I think it's in various platforms.
I think I could create a better logo for them, Stephen.
Yeah. Jennifer Aniston,
I'll create a better logo for
Courteney Cox and Lisa Kudrow pitching Friends movie, John. This has been talked about since the show finished back in 2004. Where they're going to come back for one last appearance, the 6 of them. It does beg the question whether or not you want it or not. Certainly Jennifer Aniston, Courteney Cox and Lisa Kudrow are pitching for this now. Would they have been pitching for it back in 2004? Doubt it very much.
No chance.
I think at this point the 6 of them wanted to branch off and do their own thing, whether it be in movie or stage or whatever. Unfortunately, it's not really worked out for any of them. Jennifer Aniston, to be fair, was not a few hits, rom-coms, etc. She was in Horrible Bosses, I think.
She was,
yeah. She was quite good in that. The chaps as well, I've not really seen. I think Matt LeBlanc.
He's done okay, yeah.
He was very good in episodes.
Hosted Top Gear as well.
And Top Gear as well.
Done a
over
better
here.
job than that absolute buffoon, Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can't
but
be
they've had some mild success since the Friends days. John, would you like to see a Friends movie, or would you think they should just leave it be?
I think they should leave it be, Stephen. Certainly when you read the article and what they're pitching is that they want to do a movie like Sex and the City. The seemingly fabricated tipster ads, unlike a TV reboot, would allow everyone to work on other projects. I do not want to see them going down a Sex and the City route. That was a TV show, I think, which branched off into movies.
Yep.
It was god awful. I don't want to see that. The story had its beginning, its middle and its end. We've seen the characters within go off in their various different directions, come back in some cases, obviously with Rachel and Ross. They were together, they were separated, they were together. And it ended beautifully, Stephen. I don't want to see it being touched. I don't want them to destroy the legacy of the show. I still go back and watch episodes. We
Yeah.
were just watching something earlier on tonight, the one with Ross
And his leather pants.
and his leather pants,
Yeah.
and try to get them back on, and Joey's telling them, try baby powder, talcum powder, and baby lotion. That's what we have. We can go back and watch it time and again. Don't ruin the legacy of the show by doing some crappy movie which just doesn't fit well into the actual timeline of the show.
No.
Apparently it was Courtney Cox was overheard in some restaurant doing her best to convince or speaking loudly about ideas for the potential movie. I don't want to see it. I think it's crap.
I don't want to see it either, John.
Brainstorming she was
mostly
doing.
on the things you just said, but those characters will be forever young as well. I'm not having a go at the appearances of the actors now because we're all getting older, you know. Apart from probably David Schwimmer, he still looks
David
exactly the same.
looks
But
exact same. Yes.
I think they're all in good shape still. You know, I know that Matthew Perry's had a lot of issues over the last
that'd be
decade
the
or so.
difficult one.
You know, he's had a lot of issues personally and obviously physically as well.
He had a perforated bill.
Yeah, he nearly
Just a
died.
few
So
months ago.
he's been through the ringer, as they say here. But no, I don't want to see it. I think the show ended perfectly. I think with the Rachel and Ross characters reuniting, they've got their kid, Emma, I think her name was.
Yeah.
She would be in her teens now, or late teens. You had
Chandler and Monica. Had
they moved off to the suburbs
and
of
they
New
had
York.
the sort of a surrogate.
Yeah, the twins.
Yeah, twins, yeah.
That's right, the boy and the girl.
Yeah, they moved to the house.
Joey, he went off to LA anyway because they did have that television series which flopped called Joey. That's actually a good example of why they shouldn't go near it because they tried it with the Joey spin-off and it never worked.
It was lightning in a bottle, Stephen.
Phoebe married Mike, Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. If they could get Paul Rudd back then, I'd take it back. Just make the movie.
I think, no, as you said, John, they've got the 10 seasons on Netflix and on various platforms, and it's one of those things you can go back to if you're a fan. Ironically, John, I never watched it in its original run. From 94 to 2004, I never watched one episode of Friends.
No,
it wasn't until afterwards the box sets came into the house and I just decided to watch them. And for that 22 minute episodes, it's just enough comedy in there. I don't know if you can get that same kind of pacing and tone and humour constantly for a movie that might last an hour and a half.
You said it, Stephen. It's essentially 2.5 minute segments within each episode of.
They're very quick.
Yeah, 2.5 little segments and scenes, skits if you like.
Yep.
Where the characters do something, they play off of each other, then it moves on, and it's just 22 minutes of 2.5 minute segments.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really transfer that well onto a movie on a big screen and have it pay off and have tonally a similarity to the show.
Yeah.
The characters have all moved on. The actors and actresses have all moved on. They're older now.
Yeah.
It would be a headache having to cast children and whatnot. I suppose from a sort of a nostalgic point of view, it would be cool to see what they're up to now, but I don't think they could do it.
I think you
make
leave
it
that to your imagination, John.
Yeah, I don't think they could make it fit in a way which
a
would
big
be organic.
part of the show's appeal was the sets as well. You had that nice flat that Monica had, the purple walls, and you had the coffee shop as well with Gunther,
Central
Gunther.
Perks.
And to
the
see
Lazy
those,
Boys and Joey's
to see
apartment.
those, to see those characters going back. They obviously couldn't get back to the apartment because they gave that up. But going back to the coffee shop in their mid-50s or whatever they are now, early 50s, would look very sad.
It would, yeah.
It'd look like their lives hadn't moved on.
Stephen, I mentioned Only Fools on Heroes yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's very Only Fools. You recall they went off, won the lottery or whatever. They won obviously in the auction room, and then they came back to the same set and it didn't work.
No.
It felt forced and it just didn't work. No. So do not touch it with a 10-foot barge pole, as we like to say here in Scotland.
Yeah, but listen, that just brings us to the end of this week's MBE Movie News. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we will be back again tomorrow with the blog rundown.